Hey!
And welcome to the second ever Drunk Nut
Community Edition. You might remember our drunk retelling of the classic Christmas tale, The Nutcracker Suite, 2 years ago. And we're back better than ever doing it again, but this time it's all about our community.
And there's a few major differences in this retelling. The first is that this year we're completely focusing on drinking red wine.
Yeah.
Which I think is super reflective of the growth that we've done over the last 2 years.
Totally. And we're just as drunk, so that's totally fine. Don't worry. So I guess we should just dive right in because I think the community will speak for itself.
And the community is ready to hear what we have to say.
Yeah. Okay, so the Nutcracker Suite opens on our protagonist who we'll be following throughout the night, Clara. She's a very sweet girl. She embodies all of us, and she's getting ready for an amazing Christmas party.
She's sort of the everyman in that way, in that she's just really looking for connection, she's looking for friendship, and she's looking for an amazing night.
Yeah. So we open on her. She's getting ready for a party. She's getting dressed for the party. Her brother Fritz is there. He's excited for the party. Maybe they're pre-gaming a little. Maybe and they're kind of talking like, what do I want for Christmas? You know, but they're decorating the tree. They're looking at the presents under the tree. They're getting excited. The whole world is filled with Christmas cheer, and she can feel it.
They know that it's going to be an amazing coming together of the meeting of the minds, you know, new conversations, new experiences.
And that's what community is all about in this version. It's about meeting new people. It's about reconnecting with old friends. It's about celebrating those around you. Like, for example, people are starting to show up to the party.
Yeah.
It's friends. It's friends from school. It's friends from high school. It's friends from college. It's their friends from college. Claire's parents are there. Claire's parents' friends are there.
They're there too.
Kind of like the adults, the nurturing people in the community. Claire's grandpa is there, who's played by none other than our iconic neighbor, Richard.
And so the party starts, as all parties do, a little bit tame. So, you know, everyone's chatting. They might be decorating cookies. They might be admiring the decorations. But nothing too crazy is happening. Everyone's just coming together, happy to be there. But, of course, as the night progresses,
things get crazy.
We're drinking a few more drinks, and things are getting crazy.
Yeah, we're just having fun. And then the party is alive and well, and one very important guest arrives, which is none other than Drosselmeyer. Drosselmeyer is Clara and her brother Fritz's uncle. In this version, he's played by our friend Henry, and he sort of did an amazing choice, which was to make Drosselmeyer a vampire.
Drosselmeyer has a lot of life experiences and secrets to share, and he always brings the best gifts. So Clara's like, oh my god, Uncle Dross, what did you bring for me and Fritz?
And so first he's like, I brought you this doll named Harlequin, but it's not any old doll. He does a little magic trick, and the doll comes to life, if you can believe it. And
he said, oh, I actually have a second doll to show you. And this is a little bit of a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Because this is played by Hannah.
But what's interesting about this is Drunk Nut Community Edition. And here we are, Hannah playing Harlequin in 2014/2015. And you know what? She's still in our community.
She's still in our community. And you know what? She wasn't in my community in 2014-15, and now she is. And that's the amazing thing about community, is it's ever-changing, and it's ever-growing.
So Drosselmeyer, as we've learned, can make dolls come to life. So Fritz is like, what's my gift?
Yeah, what's my gift?
I want my gift. Classic Fritz.
So
he gets his gift and he's happy, but maybe he has room for jealousy.
Yeah, and that jealousy really starts to show itself when Clara receives her gift, and it's this amazing Nutcracker doll.
Which kind of is like the whole raison d'etre of this whole thing, aka why the Nutcracker is called the Nutcracker is because she receives the Nutcracker.
And Clara loves it. They're just, you know, they're a pair made in heaven.
Yeah, she's loving it, but unfortunately, Fritz gets jealous. And so he tries to take the Nutcracker from her, and in doing so, absolutely destroys it.
Yeah, he gets a little bit violent, which is something we didn't see coming for him, but he basically decapitates the Nutcracker, pulls its arm off. Luckily for us, we had a stunt double, so our Nutcracker was alive and well. But, you know.
Thank you, stunts. But fret not, because Drosselmeyer fixes the Nutcracker doll because he, in fact, is magic. And with that, what more can be done?
It's getting a little bit crazy, and maybe Clara's had one too many. She's a bit overserved, if you know what I mean.
Totally, and we've been there. So things are getting crazy. She's like, I gotta get to sleep.
Yeah.
But before she does, she takes one last look at her Nutcracker. And when she does, things start getting weird. Because first of all, rats start to appear.
The rats are absolutely going to hate this announcement. But the rats don't run the city. We do.
And she starts noticing things are changing. They're growing, they're shrinking. Perspective is changing. So the Christmas tree is growing larger and larger. The rats, the mice are becoming life-size. She's the same size as her Nutcracker prince, who at this moment is becoming a man.
And thank God he is, because the Rat King is there, and he is looking for trouble.
Yeah, and it's sort of this moment of toxic masculinity where the Rat King is battling against the Nutcracker Prince and no one's winning. Suddenly Clara comes in and she bonks the Rat King in the head with her slipper. He is probably concussed, he is unconscious, he falls to the ground, and her soldier, the Nutcracker Prince, come to life. It's like, oh my god, Queen, I can't believe you just did that. So at this point, Clara is being welcomed into the land of the snow, and she's being welcomed by two individuals, the Snow Queen and the Snow King.
Hello and good morning. Thank you, Chair Ayala. My name is Marco Balestri.
So the Snow King is actually played by none other than our friend Marco Balestri, who Ask Anyone is a local king in our community.
So the Snow King and Queen are taking Clara and her now life-size Nutcracker Prince through the snow, through the forest, to an unknown land.
And ordinarily, Clara would be a little bit scared, but in this moment, she's like, you know what? Let's go for it. I've had this amazing party. I've been surprised once. Tonight, let me be surprised again.
And that's what community is all about.
And we're back, and we're in a new location, the Land of the Sweets.
And you might be asking yourself, what is the Land of the Sweets? And let me just say, we have two answers. Number one, Land of the Sweets is a welcome addition to our neighborhood, Ample Hills Creamery. It's a new ice cream store. It's not new, but it's new to our neighborhood. We absolutely adore it. We go all the time, and it's just so sweet there.
Number two, the Land of the Sweets also represents our general community, which to us at this moment is the Upper West Side.
The Land of the Sweets is not without characters. So there are two main characters of the Land of the Sweets, Sugar Plum Fairy and Cavalier. And they welcome Clara to the Land of the Sweets.
They take her under their wing and they say, you know what, we're going to show you our neighborhood, show you our community, introduce you to some new friends, and that's what
show you the goods you got. So the Sugar Plum Fairy decides to give them a grand old tour of the Land of the Sweets, featuring the goods that the Land of the Sweets has to offer. And you know what? Our community has goods to offer too. And the first one is none other than the best thing in the world, chocolate.
So where do you go when you want chocolate on the Upper West Side? Oh, this little place called the Nut Factory.
And let's just say, they sell nuts, they sell chocolate, they sell everything.
So if you're thinking, I need a housewarming gift, I need a gift for my coworker, I need a gift for a Yankee swap, I need a beautiful box or a gift to give to my aunt.
You know what? Maybe you just want to give a little gift to yourself, like we did on this day, and you just get a little piece of chocolate for yourself. I think I spent $2.
Yeah, and the Sugar Plum Fairy says, you know what? You gotta treat yourself from the Land of the Sweets. That's what it's all about. And that leads us into our next good, which is coffee.
Yeah.
And so coffee as a good is something that many people see as a necessity.
And there's no shortage of that on the Upper West Side, I'll tell you that much.
There's no shortage of coffee, which is why we had such a hard time deciding where to film this particular song and good. But we ended up at a place where we've been too many times.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily get our coffee.
It was actually, I think, for both of us, the first time we've ever gotten coffee there. But there's always a first time for everything. And first of all, the coffee was okay. But we have to stop talking about coffee because we're on to tea now. And if you thought we had a lot to say about chocolate and coffee, strap in for tea. Because let me just say, we have a lot going on here.
We have a lot to say about tea. So tea we ended up getting from one of our favorite places on the Upper West Side, Mido.
We walk in, we say, we gotta get tea.
That was our reason for coming.
It was our reason for coming, and she said our hot water's not working. Didn't know what that meant. Thought it meant she just had to boil some water.
She said it's gonna take a few minutes, a little bit. Is that okay? We said yes, Queen. Of course.
Of course, because we have other stuff to order. Which, by the way, okay, so I guess we should just get into the sushi special here.
Yeah, I think we should.
They have an amazing lunch special that you would be so lucky to try. Three
rolls of sushi.
Mm-hmm. How much do you think that's worth? So kind of circling back, we waited about 45 minutes for our tea to come. We basically finished our meal. So they didn't charge us for the tea.
Okay, so that brings us on to our next good, which is Russian.
Russian is, okay, so bear with us on this one.
Listen, hear us out.
Okay, so Russian is Zabar's, which is a grocer on the Upper West Side. You might be thinking, I didn't know Zabar's was Russian. It isn't necessarily, but Russian is sort of the most famous and quintessential song of the Nutcracker suite. Ask anyone, what's the most quintessential, classic, iconic thing of the Upper West Side? They're saying Zabar's.
And you know what? You could get pretty much anything at Zabar's. We were there. We had the honor of being offered a sample.
Okay, so moving on to our next song is sort of like Reed's Marzipan, depending on what version of the Nutcracker you're viewing.
Yeah, it's nothing in particular, but at the same time, it's everything to us. And so this is the moment where we just take time to reflect and think about what we're grateful for and all the things that we did not necessarily expect to see on this journey, on this day of exploration, but we were grateful to end up there.
And her time in the Land of the Sweets isn't quite over yet because first of all, we have Mother Ginger. Yeah. So in a typical rendition of the Nutcracker, Mother Ginger is a giant woman who comes out and
she has
a huge dress and little candy children kind of fly out of her dress. And so our Mother Ginger is this little known restaurant on the Upper West Side called Amelie. And Amelie is one of those places that is sort of just like a home, like it's not a hole in the wall, but you might not really expect something. Kind of like you don't expect little candy children to run out of a woman's dress. There's just surprise after surprise after surprise with Amelie. And that's all we have to say about that, because up next we have Flowers.
Flowers, I would say, is actually all about beauty. And I think beauty is something that is so important in community because it is all around and it comes from within. And I think as Clara is journeying through all the flowers, she's noticing her inner beauty and she's noticing all the growth that she's experienced through her journeys through all these different lands. This is Clara's time to really just become one with nature and stop and smell the roses. So this is a duet between the Sugar Plum Fairy and her Cavalier. It's sort of a reckoning between two people. They're coming together, they're dancing, they're expressing their joy and their gratitude to be together. And this is really a big lead up into one of the most iconic moments of the Nutcracker suite, which is the Sugar Plum Fairy solo, which is starting right now.
And this is when we just really see like a little internal look into the life of the Sugar Plum Fairy, played by none other than our friend Jacob, who in many ways is our Sugar Plum Fairy.
He's our Sugar Plum Fairy. And this is the coda, and this is Clara being welcomed by all her goods. They're all doing a little recap of, what they showed her.
We're remembering all the good times, everything that we've tasted along the way. She can't believe this is her life.
And
she's saying goodbye.
She's saying goodbye to her friends.
Because it's time to go.
And the thing is, she knows that she'll see them again. She knows this isn't goodbye forever because they're now in her community and they're there to stay. She's back in her very own home and she's waking up.
Yeah, and it's like
deep slumber.
Yeah, she's sort of like sleeping, and then it's like, wait, how did she get here?
Yeah, and she's sort of thinking to herself, was that all real? Like, I can't really distinguish between reality and fantasy.
And then she sort of notices something crazy, which is that the Nutcracker prince, who was life-size and with her that whole time,
he was a full man,
is now doll-sized again?
Back to doll size. And I think she realizes that, community is all around you. You just have to look for it. Your fantasy can be your reality.
And that's the spirit of Christmas. That's the spirit of the Nutcracker Suite. That's the spirit of Drunk Nut Community Edition.
So we just really implore you, if you're wishing something could be your reality, open the damn door.
And step outside.
See what
Walk
you might
down
just
your
find.
stoop. You might find an amazing lunch deal. You might just find your community.